Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Today's video we're going to do a how-to with the Fender braces that Full Throttle Performance sells. I don't know if you're buying them from anybody else. I imagine the process is still the same. There's only so many ways you're going to be able to make this part. So these are the braces, both the plates, and this is the hardware that came in the kit that he did with his first batch. I don't know if you're watching this video 2 to 3 years from now if the hardware is going to change, or if his second batch that he just released, if the hardware was any different. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. So all the tools that I'm using today are for this set of hardware. So if you do have the same hardware as me, these are the tools that you're going to need to do this job. We do need to make one hole in the car, so you're going to need a drill. You're also going to need a, I believe it's a 7/16 hole that we're going to need. I'm going to start with a 3/8, see how the hardware fits. If it doesn't, then I'll open it up to the 7/16. I got this deeper one here just to fine tune it because I'm not sure how thick the material is going to be when we get there. If these steps aren't thick enough to get through that plate, then like I said, obviously we'll go to this one so it's deeper. That way the hole goes all the way through and I'm not bogging it out to make it look terrible. You also need a 10mm socket for all the bolts that hold the fender in. Oh man, at least you're not like the 10 where you would just hit the ground and run away. But you're going to need a T25 Torx bit for the 2 bolts that hold the side skirt in. I have all these trim tools that are for, let me turn the flash on, that are for these clips that hold the fender liner in. Now the car that I'm working on doesn't have those fender liners in it, so you're not going to see me do that part of it. I can show you on one of the clips on this car here. I might do that quick. I'll show you where they all are just in case, you know, your car does in fact have the fender liner still in it if you do drive it on the road. You're also going to need I got a 1/4" ratchet that I'm going to use for the T25 for the side skirt screw. I have a 3mm Allen head socket and ratchet. If you don't have one, you can use an Allen key. That's what you're going to need for this bolt here, because you're going to need the Allen screw or the Allen key to turn the bolt inside. You use a 17mm wrench on this end, and then when you tighten that bolt, what it's going to do is, I'll set this down real quick, make a little bit more sense of this. When you tighten the Allen screw here and you hold this sleeve with a wrench, it's going to suck this piece in and it's going to operate like a rivet. It's going to spread these ears open against this taper that is in that nut. So that is what's going to bite. I don't know how that's going to stay if you do decide that you want to take these off. I don't know if this piece is just going to fall off. I guess I'm not really trying to find out. I'm putting these on with the intention of leaving them on. I'm only going to do one car for now. I'm going to wait and do the second car. You're also going to need some 13mm wrenches. Just one will probably do. I got a regular standard box end. I have a couple ratcheting ones, so I got a short one and I got a big long one that's a double box. You're going to need these guys to loosen the 2 bolts on the front of the upper and lower door hinges so you can go ahead and slip that plate in behind them. You're also going to need a 9/16 socket for the bolt that comes to go with the plate that has the nut welded inside of it. So I'm only going to do the one car, like I said, because with this one I want to put it together, drive it, see how it feels, then I'll put the braces in it and then see if I can notice a difference just with the braces. With this car, I'm changing the suspension, we're adding the roll cage, we're taking a lot of weight out. We're changing so many things with it, it's not going to be a real good feedback thing for me to try and give a before and after, because the cage is going to stiffen the chassis up a bit, the fender braces are going to stiffen it up a bit, and with the new spring rates, the car is going to react differently. But like I said, with this one, it will be a direct apples to apples. We'll drive it before, see how it feels, stuff the braces in, see how it feels after. So I know in the video here, I do have the wheels and tires off the car. All you gotta do is just get it up on jack stands or on a hoist, whatever you're working with, get the front tires off. You're not gonna wanna deal with this on the ground. This car is not loaded with weight. If you get the motor in there, it'd probably suck it down a couple inches. So I mean, you'd be working in a space like this, trying to get these screws out of here with a ratchet and the socket. So you don't really have a whole lot. It's a hell of a pain in the ass to try and do that on the ground. I guess if you're a trooper, my hat's off to you. I'm not trying to work that damn hard. I got the car in the air. I'm gonna get the camera set up here and we will show you guys how to go ahead, pull the fenders off, get the hole drilled, and then we'll hang the plates back on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flow through the other side. Not really a how-to, just to see how long it's actually gonna take to try and do this. But yeah, I'll see you guys here in a minute. So for those of you that still have wipers in your car, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the cowl cover off of the blue car here. That way you can see how that's done. Because when we end up doing it on the white one here, when I put the braces in, that car does not have wipers. That cowl panel is already out. So that's kind of out of my way. So it's not gonna be in the process that I follow, but I will go ahead and I'll tie it in, like I said, with this one for you guys, just so you can see how that's done. So what you gotta do is take your trim tool, and then they got these covers on the wiper arms. And you're gonna get behind that cover. You're gonna pop that guy off. Same thing on this one. Pop it off. And then you got two, pretty rusty looking, but I got two 15 millimeter nuts. One here, one here. Those are for the arms. You gotta set up real quick, that way you can kind of just follow me through here. 15 millimeter socket, which I did not talk about in the tools, like I said, because I didn't have it on the car. It wasn't something that I thought about, but because it's on this one, here you guys go. Oh, I was wrong anyway, it's a 13. Okay, so we got two 13 millimeter nuts, not two 15 millimeter. Nuts off. And then what I like to do, flip the arm up, and then I just kind of twist it up and down, pops them free. Same thing on this side, flip the arm up, give it a little bit of a twist and pull up at the same time. Usually they'll pop right off. Passenger side is longer than the driver's side, you can't mess that up. Now you got 5 T25 torque screws. Same kind of screw that held in the fender liner is what holds in the cowl. So there's one here, 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 and the same corner on the other side. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna pull all those screws out. Let's go ahead and I'll do that real quick. Okay, so now you got all the screws out. I'm gonna go ahead and open the hood. Now this car doesn't have it, but there's a seal that goes from this side to this side. It just slips on, so you just grab that seal and pull that guy right off. I did run out here real quick just so I can try and show you that seal that I was talking about on the blue car when you pull the cowl off. This is that seal. It's no different than a weather strip in the door. Basically, you can see the channel, how it squeezes together. The metal's broken in it, so pieces of it aren't grabbing too well, but that's all it is. You just pull it off, and then once you're ready to go back together, like I said, you just kind of take it and push it back on. So we're at this point, we got the hood open. Now you want to remove this panel. The only thing that you really got to be careful with is this seal kind of pops on to hold both of those two pieces of the cowl together. There's a lip that goes under the windshield seal right here, this run channel. So you kind of, I put my thumb on the inside, kind of bow it in a little bit, just walk it up just enough to get it past the windshield. And then that side's out. Then you come over to this side, do the same thing. Now this cowl is two pieces, like I was just saying. So you gotta just get your hand under one side, get your hand under the other, walk it to one side, and then pull it right out just like that. Alright guys, assuming you have car in the air, wheels off, first thing you're going to have to do is take this fender liner off. To get that off, what you need to do is there are these T25 torque screws that you're going to have to pull. These are muddy. They're caked with mud from pulling it down a dirt road, so I'm not going to actually do that on this one. I got to do that on the other one though, but you take these two screws out here and here, and then you got this push pin, and then if you look up, there is another push pin here. And then where it ties into the bumper, there's two Phillips screws that hold it in. I don't think there's any other that hold this in. Let me see. Oh, I think that should just be it. Yeah. So So it's just this one, these two screws here, and then the 2 Phillips screws that go into the bumper. I think one's approximately right here, and the other one's down towards the bottom right here. So I'll show you how to go ahead and pull those pins out, and then we're gonna come back over to the white car, because we're actually gonna be doing that one today. So you can get these. This one's a Matco one. If you have Snap-on, Blue Point, whatever, I'm sure Harbor Freight has their set. If you're just doing this at home, you're not doing it, you're not a regular guy that already has something like this, you could probably go to Harbor Freight and get into this tool pretty cheap. Just go ahead and get a set of them. It's just a trim tool. So you get behind it, and then what I like to do is put my finger on the tulip part, I guess, I don't know what you call it, of the head of the pin, push pin. That way it doesn't, because if you pull it, you see how it flexes. Sometimes they'll flex and they'll just flip right up, and then it's a real son of a bitch trying to get these things off. So I put my finger on it to give it a little bit of strength, and then just twist the tool against the plastic. See that? How it's tuliping or it's mushrooming it. So that's what it does. I'll do that one later. So that's how you're gonna deal with that. I'll just replace that when I do that car. So anyway, back to this car here. Assuming you got your fender liner off after my failed demonstration of how to pull those pins. Yeah, go ahead and get this torque screw out of the way. So I guess we can't assume there because I'm not there yet, technically, because this would still be in if it was my car. I'm getting cramps in my feet. So you pull this screw, pull this screw. I only have the one in because it's only holding this. I don't even know why this one's still here. That one's coming out too. Wise old man once told me, grams lead to ounces, ounces lead to pounds, pounds lead to ET. Every little bit adds up. Anyway, so now, hopefully, you either have a trim tool like this or one like this that you used on the fender liner or whatever tool you had. Now you're gonna go to the side skirt here. Now this one's already pulled through, so I can't really demonstrate that. I guess that one was never in. Down here, it's the same kind of setup it was on that fender liner. So it's the same kind of setup as that fender liner, but under the car. You can take the whole side skirt off if you want to. I'm not gonna. This one's not there because I didn't put it back in because I didn't need it. The side skirt was pretty tight, and the front one was there, but the front one's pulled through, so I get a little bit of flexibility out of it, as you can see. So I can pull it away from the fender and sneak the fender out. So at this point, sorry, giving everybody a show here. Go ahead and pull all the 10mm screws out of your fender. So you got 2 on the bottom. Got it in quick to jar the threads. Sometimes these break off. If they do, I'm sorry. Car must have spent some time in the rust belt. I am in Michigan, that happens around here. I have had a couple break on cars that I've worked on. You just gotta tap them, rethread them, it is what it is. So you get these 2 on the bottom, and then there's one on the side, right here against the door. There's 2 up here. Two more screws up here, or bolts, sorry. These are the ones that are usually prone to breaking. Just like that. I got lucky there. Run it in, run it back out. I mean, I did have it apart at one point, so I guess I can't really say I'm lucky. But sometimes that happens. You'll get the bolt to move about that far. If you're using a power tool or a hand tool or whatever it is you're doing, if you're running it out and it's moving, but it gets to a point where it gets stuck, spray a little bit of train fluid or WD-40 or PB Blaster or whatever you're using, and run that bolt back in. Spray it on the top. Try and work it slow in and out, and it'll eventually clean that rust up. And I guess if it breaks off, it breaks off. You just got to drill and tap it. But that's what you can do to try and get these bolts out, because if it's been in the rust belt and the fender liner's ever not been there, or if it does get driven in winter quite a bit, Okay, so we got all the bolts out from underneath to the bottom. I got 3 on the top. There's one here, and one back here. You'll have to take your cowl panel off. Mine's already off. 2. Now I put my thigh into it a little bit to support the fender. Because now it is free. So once you get these 3 out, take the fender right off. Okay, so now we got the fender off. So this plate, turn the flash back on here. So now this plate pretty much is gonna go here, and it's gonna bolt into the door there. It's gonna tie into the door. So first batch of these went out. I don't know if people are ordering powder coated or not, but I ordered regular ones. So I shot some engine enamel on them to give them a little bit of integrity. So he's got the cutout for the fender. Okay, so this is where we're at with it. Here, so this hole is the one that's already there. That's the one that comes with the nut and the plate, and this is the hole that we got to make. So that hole is going to have to be drilled. And this is the one that's already there. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm getting these all printed up now with my hand. So now we know which hole needs to be drilled. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen this bolt. I'm gonna put the plate mount through here, and then we're gonna set the plate in. We're gonna tighten these 2, tighten this one down. I'll get this hole marked. We'll start the pilot hole, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take the plate back off. I'll finish drilling that hole, and then we'll get this one going back together. You gotta loosen these 2 bolts. I don't know if you're going to be able to slip them in or not. You might be able to. I'm going to try. At least on that lower, I'm not sure, because this tab for the fender does stick out, and the plate is cut for that tab. So you kind of have to get it over that and around the washer for the bolt at the same time. I'll see if it gives me enough room. Worst case, you might have to take the lower one out. But the upper you should definitely be fine working with. There's nothing there to keep that guy from going. That loose, put the plate in. Let's see if good. All right. That's not gonna work. So I have to take the plate back off. Then what I'm going to do is there's a hole. I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and do this. There's a hole right here. I'm going to feed that plate down and hold it against the inside of the frame with my finger, and then start the bolt through it. So just bear with me on this. So I tightened this down quick just so I could show you guys. Because there's quite a bit of swing with this plate, the way it's mounted. You got a lot of room to work with here. I'm going to move it forward a little bit more. But what you want to try and do is you want to get this taper or edge of the plate to follow the contour of the frame once you get it all set in. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this back up. I'm going to shift it around a little bit, find the happy spot where I want it to be, and then I'll go ahead and I'll get my hole made, and then we'll get this guy mounted in. So, got it where I like it. We're pretty centered up on the fender tab. We got a pretty good taper there with the edge of the frame. We're gonna go ahead and get this hole marked. We'll get the hole started. Material's not really that thick, so I might be able to just plow right through it with that bit that I got. And we'll go ahead and get this guy bolted in. Okay, so the 3/8 did work. So yeah, what you're gonna wanna do is make a 3/8 hole, slip this piece of hardware through here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my other tool set up. Okay. So I got my 17, I got my 3mm Allen. So you're gonna hold the sleeve with a wrench. Go ahead and tighten the Allen screw. Pretty tight. I don't know how much longer I should go with it, but there we are. Yikes, that's sketchy. Guess we're not completely on one jack stand, but it's still there. So yeah, that's one side in, guys. I mean, that really is no time at all. You got more time into taking the fender off than you actually do into putting the plate on. So yeah, this bit also, this is just a Harbor Freight bit, nothing special. Only like $13 for 3 of these bits. You just seen how it punched through that car. They work. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make sure we're all tight. Go ahead, put this fender back on, go to the other side and get that one done, and we'll see how long it actually takes now that I know exactly what I'm doing. So one thing I didn't think of before I started filming this was I don't have a radio in my car, so there's no antenna in the passenger fender. I just walked by the blue car here a minute ago and I looked at it and I was like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. So all you're really gonna have to do is you take a set of pliers and you wrap a towel around this chrome ring right here. And you break that free, and then you just spin that guy off and you pull it up, and this plastic piece also just slips off. You take the antenna off, and then that piece will fall down a little bit. But when it falls down, I'm pretty sure it goes through the frame. I think it goes in through right, yeah, it goes in through right here. So it's gonna drop in through here, and then the cable is gonna hang out at the bottom right here. So it'll be out of the way. Just go ahead and loosen that nut, let it fall down a little bit. Go ahead, pull the fender off, and then when you're done, all you really got to do is reach your hand behind here, shove that piece, or shove the antenna back up, and go ahead, put your plastic piece on, start that chrome ring, tighten that guy down, and you'll be good to go. You don't have to worry about going in, unplugging anything with it. Just let it hang out of the way. I'm gonna go inside and grab a bore scope real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys something kind of neat. I'm gonna try and do something kind of neat here, and I can show you guys that that piece spreading on the bolt as I tighten it. I'm gonna try and set this up so you can see it. Hopefully it works out. we will sell, or we will see. Just waiting for the head to fire up. Very cool. Okay. Flash up. See how that looks. We're gonna shuffle this around here so I can see it too. Okay, there that is. Okay. So there's the inside of the frame. Put our part through. And then 17 gallon. Hopefully the camera stays. So that's what that does. Kind of neat that I thought about that so I could show you guys how this works when you tighten it down. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put these fenders back on and then set this guy back on the ground. So that's going to hang it up for today. Hopefully this video helps anybody out trying to install these braces. Like I said, unfortunately we're doing too many changes with this car to have any idea what kind of feedback they're going to give me right away. It's not in a place where I can go drive it right now just to see. We'll definitely let you guys know in the future when I put them in this car here, because like I said, we're going to put this one back together, we're going to put it out on the road, we're going to feel it out, I'll bring it back in, I'll shove the braces in, we'll take it right back out and see if I do notice a difference with the turning, the reaction of the vehicle, and how it steers and how mannered it is going down the road. But yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button today, guys. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you at the track. Thanks.